so much for a thumbs up. John, right on time. Thank you so much, sir. Can you hear me all right? Well, hello there. If you are tuning in for the first time, my name is Holly Lee. I am a leadership career coach. I've been doing this for a long time. I do live stream every Tuesday, this time, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard and 2 p.m. Eastern, in answering every single one of your career related question. I also, in this channel for my members, do your resume and or your LinkedIn profile reviewed in details in here. So make sure if you guys are interested in branding up, leveling up of who you are into identifying the right, not just any recruiters that are calling you for that proper opportunity. I can't say for the job opportunity because, I mean, let's be honest here. I grew up in the recruiting world a long time ago, 25 years, 26 years to be exact. And I know, and I worked with thousands and thousands of recruiters, and I can put my hand up for the amazing one that actually are so detail oriented that can read your resume that matches the role that they are filling, which is why I talk a lot about landing the right career for you. And if you are a senior or leadership professionals, that's even better because that's what I do. I'm also the CEO and founder of my VIP coaching. If you're interested, click the link and then we'll carry on. All right. So before we start, hello, John. How's the audio? You can hear me. Excellent. So, how should I say this? Guys, I have to take a break last week because mentally I've been so overwhelmed with the amount of, hang on, spammer. There are spammer coming from the left, from the right, from the top, from the bottom. If you guys ever have anyone who instant message you, by the way, I will never, ever instant message you in any social platform. I only have a few, by the way. LinkedIn, I'm most active. We have YouTube, which I live stream every Tuesday. And yes, indeed, I do read every single one of my comments. Okay? I have Instagram that I really need to do more things in it. But the bottom line is I will never reach out to you. My team will never reach out to you to sell products with you, service, or anything like that. If there's anything at all, you'll receive a message from me once a week if you are a subscriber to remind you of the free coaching that I'm doing like this every week. Okay? Again, do not give money or be vulnerable. I don't know what is going on, guys. I thought COVID was bad. This is worse. With the recession, there are just all sorts of spammer. I have to spend a minute to talk about that because I have quite a few of my loyal followers that comes to me to tell me that, you know, I'm trying to sell them a couple $100 product of something, and we would never do that. And by the way, I purposely tag my handle, which is, if you look at the top left this way, left hand on the top in white, it's hollylee.co, and that is my email alias and all my handle. Unless somebody emails you with that alias, highly doubt it, right? Do not, it is a spam. All right, John, since you are here, let's take a look at your LinkedIn profile. And for the rest of the folks, if they come in and have questions, we'll tackle with that. But I wanted to make sure that I'm able to answer all of your questions. Okay, John? Let me go ahead and switch view here. There you go. Oh, actually, let me remove my name tag. Oops. There you go. I often forget about that. And let me get rid of that. Okay. All right, John, this is what I'm seeing. And let me make this a little bit bigger. Excuse me. Okay. There you go, right there. Okay. Let's start from top down. Okay. Which is your channel art. Just judging by your channel art, you're probably someone that is in the fintech or technical professional. I'm not looking at anything else. I'm pretending like we've never had a conversation before, John, which is great. Your channel art, a lot of people undermine that because it is truly your brand, guys and gals, okay? So be very mindful when you put a photo there. This is not LinkedIn, this is not Instagram, this is not Twitter. Um, this is not where you just put your family photo in the background or things that doesn't matter or still a quote from somewhere. A lot of people do that. I don't, because you're wasting space, okay? When an employer, aka the hiring managers or recruiter, look at your branding, which is right here, this portion, they should be able to tell a little bit about who you are. Your profile photo is great. This is just me being very nitpicky. For tech professionals, I would drop the jacket. This is a great photo, but if you can't, engineers, solution architect, the same thing. Even when you're interviewing, drop the jacket. You could leave everything but the jacket. It's just a little bit too buttoned up as far as what you look like, unless you are in marketing, you're an account manager, or you have front-facing customers, you're in legal or something along that line where you have to dress up a little bit. Sure, okay, then you could absolutely suit up. But for tech folks, the job code in an actual office is jeans and t-shirt, or shorts, t-shirt, and sandals. Okay? All right. Let's go down here. I just have to pick really quick to see if there's company names that I'm familiar with. Okay. The reason why I'm doing this is that if you have worked with any brand name or names that are familiar with like folks in the US as an example, assuming that you're interested in applying for position here or Turkey, I'm not really sure, John, leave it in the chat below and let me know where you're interested of being employed. Are you looking for something remote based where you are in Istanbul or in the US? Okay. All right. Over here, lead solution architect. Great. Data science. You're listening, John. I can tell that you have been watching for a while because you're doing every single thing that I've talked about, every single live stream, by the way. Very nice. Okay. The one thing that I've asked for you is maybe a little bit more consistent. For instance, business solution through cloud. See this little dash right here? It's a little bit professional for me. It's not going to hit any keyword search anyway. So I would simply just drop all the words and go straight to the fact, which is cloud and digital transformation, AI, ML. I would actually spell it out, artificial intelligence, and then I'll do another one for machine learning. Okay? I would probably just eliminate this part because if people are looking, or employers are looking for candidates like yourself with a PhD, your resume, I'm thinking resume, can you tell? Your CV or your LinkedIn profile will show up if they do a search on PhD anyway. So personally, I wouldn't. If you do, you probably will want to put it next to your name. If you want to put a comma and put PhD, I would do that and not waste space here. Okay. I would also not do two little emoji. Instead, I would just do one just to save space. It looks a lot cleaner. And also feel free to look at my LinkedIn profile and see how I've done mine as well. Okay? Alrighty. I love the hashtag. Look at this. This is beautiful right here. Awesome. I'm not going to click on your contact information just in case there's a lot of spammer watching. I don't want them to be spamming you at the moment, so I'm going to skip that for now. Okay, let's go down here. And it looks like this is your is this your web page, John? Cool. By the way, if you want to, you can actually on your mobile phone record a 10-second speech of who you are, as in tell me about yourself very quickly. You can do a short video, and you can do an audio. Okay, depends if you're shy or not. I know I'm a live streamer, but I haven't the audio version on my LinkedIn profile. Let's go to your about section and see what it says, shall we? Um, you know what? Before we go there, something catches my eyes. This is awesome. Your post. I'm not going to click on every single one of them, but basically, feature are things that are added bonus to your brand. Okay, John? These are things that you have written, you have built, you're proud of, or award that you have won, so on and so forth. For my LinkedIn profile page, I put a video clip when I was a Women in Tech speaker for AWS conference in Mumbai. My articles from Forbes, so on and so forth. Basically, you want to feature some of your work to allow your audience to get to know you more. Beautiful. You have been listening. Great work. All right. And this part is really powerful, guys. The activity part. If you are in the market to look for another opportunity or to level up, I would highly recommend that you all follow. You see how beautiful John is doing? I'm not sure about food and nature and health, but to follow groups that you are passionate about, like machine learning, because once you made a comment or anything like that, it shows up here. And yes, recruiters do pay attention, well, the good ones do, and hiring managers, they do pay attention to it because this is our way to get to know more about you. Okay? All right, carry on. I mean, for me, right off the bat, in looking at this, and this is just me, every coach is very different. I want my eyes to be very easy on the eye. This is just way too many light bulbs for me. The light bulb and this is just way too fancy for me. And then the inconsistency of the dash. So pick one, anyone. If you want to, I would, the about section, you could put a short paragraph or a couple sentences rather than doing like this. I would maybe move this two, even this three, and combine it into a short paragraph and call it a day in your about section. Over here, actually, you don't even need this. You could just call it experience building. I will not use a dash. As you can see, it doesn't look clean. I will use a bullet or even this little diamond looking thing here. Put it there, make it look very, very clean. And I would also give it a space so that you're not showing one line here and two lines there and with a comma, and then you see where I'm going. So also, grammatical error is a big thing as well. I use Grammarly Pro and I am proud of it. There's no shame. English is my fourth language. So you may want to try that for yourself as well. And there's like spacing gap here and there. Okay? So just in hindsight, just taking a look at that, I would make it look a little bit more neat and organized. Okay? You can't say technical expertise here and give me a paragraph mixed with verbiage, and then up here is something completely different. So choose one style. Do you want to move it into like a bullet point? Excuse me. Or do you want to move it into like a paragraph? Pick one, but you can't do both or three different things at one. It just looks like it's all over the place. Okay? That's the feedback. And when your resume is not consistent, it's hard for the reader to follow. It just looks like a lot of words. Okay? Go take a look at my LinkedIn profile and you can see how I have trimmed everything down in bullets and no more than just quick, concise, to the point. Basically, what is your brand? What have you achieved? What are you offering? What are you putting on the table? All right? And I've always, and I mentioned this in my LinkedIn Accelerator digital course as well, where if I have never heard of this company name before, I'm not going to click on this and read the company. They don't have time for that, especially right now. I talk about human attention span a lot on my YouTube channel, which is 8 seconds, by the way. So if I were you, I would write one sentence or two to describe what this company does or what is your role and responsibility, followed by 3 to 6 bullets of what you have done. Don't explain your responsibility. Don't waste a space. What have you delivered? What is your ROI, return on investment? What is your added value? Okay, that is the major difference between your LinkedIn profile and your resume. Talk more about that. And the fact that you've been here for over a year, it looks like you have moved or got promoted. Congratulations, by the way. Let's just, where's my yay button? Congratulations. Jumping from a ML to a lead advisor. So as a lead, what have you done that's different? Because you've been doing it for over a year. I would add 3 bullets here. Okay. You see how pretty you've made this? This is what I mean by consistency. You can't just put 1 dot here, 2 dot there, and you need a space right there as well. Okay? Just make it look a lot more clean. I would also add in some ROI on here. Let me give you an example of what I mean. You mentioned deliver high ROI research-based solution, right? What are those solutions? What does that mean? Who are you delivering this for? Okay? So your bullets are highly important, guys. Make sure that you're more clear on what you have built and who you have built it for. I talk about this in my resume and LinkedIn Accelerator. I'll talk more about that should you guys be interested in it. CTO. You were here for 6 months. Season O, okay. So rather than putting a bunch of buzzword here, I would write at the bare minimum a short paragraph of what your responsibility is and what have you accomplished in those 6 months. Because 6 months is a long time as a TTO, not CEO, sorry, CTO. Okay? And the same thing with the rest as well. So you got to have a resume. Why do I keep on saying resume? LinkedIn profile. You cannot have this bullet and it's just way too many different bullets, okay? Pick one. Either you want to use this one or the other one. Be very, very consistent, okay? You're more than happy, as mentioned, to look at my profile for consistency. Very easy, very raw, very to the point. The whole point is, guys, is enough information for the recruiter or hiring manager to reach out to you in learning more. You don't want to say every single little thing. You do want to add things like this, 40% over 2 fiscal year, good, but you need to be very clear on who you are delivering results for as a CPO and or a CTO, okay? Things like excellent analytic and problem solving skill, they don't care. That's not the buzzword that they use. We call them, in the recruiting world, we call them, well, I shouldn't really say that. I'll get to that in a second. I don't want to confuse you guys. You guys have your own coding languages for engineers. We have our own scripting languages for recruiters. Okay? The same thing with this. It's lacking a lot of consistency. Okay, John? If you're interested, I would actually recommend for you to look at my LinkedIn Accelerator and or the branding bundle because the LinkedIn part is actually free. You would need the resume to look pretty before you move on to the LinkedIn, and I'll talk more about that in a second. The same thing with the rest. You have to make sure that you let and allow the reader to know a little bit about what you do here, right? If you look at this, this is a soft spot for me, guys, because I see a lot of career coaches. Basically, most of everyone is training a lot of the candidates to copy the job description and put in the resume. I disagree because it sounds like a lot of bluff and not a lot of action, which is added value, right? Sure, you could land in front of the recruiter, but once you land in front of the recruiter, they're going to get turned off because it's just a bunch of buzzword without any execution of what you have done. Like a lot of the keyword can get you the attention, but they also want to see what have you done in the 6 months or like the 12 years and 9 months right here, okay? Now, if this is truly working for the university, you've been there for a very long time. Again, consistency, stay with 1 bullet. I don't want to repeat myself again, okay? Fix all of it, and when you're done with that, come back to me. I will give you another review. But the feedback is very consistent, John. Consistency is key, okay, guys? Consistency. I have been looking at resume my entire life, practically. Either I was an account manager, a recruiter, a recruiting leader, a corporate trainer. I've looked at resume my entire life, 25 plus years. And the one thing that turns me away are inconsistency and a lot of words. Okay? So try to fix that. And for me personally, I will not have things in here that's probably older than 15 years or so. Because if you put too much information, you do want to eliminate biases. Yes, there are a lot of biases out there, guys and girls, okay? Um, and there's just a lot of stuff. It's all over here, okay? It's just all over the place, back and forth. It looks like you may have had multiple jobs. I can't tell, so make sure you really clean it up. The time frame is very consistent. I probably wouldn't put anything that is older than 15 years as mentioned, okay? Like for this, for example, 2005 and 2009 is really out of date unless you wanted to be an IT project manager. What are the skill that's different from like 20 years ago and today? Because technology has changed, it's probably not relevant, right? HP, wow. Consultant, okay. In Nigeria. I didn't realize HP was out in Nigeria. That's pretty awesome. All right, John, I'm going to go back and stop sharing my screen. 2, 3, 1. Okay, John, let me know if you have any question. My throat's getting really dry, guys. My apologies. The weather has just been so hot here in Phoenix. um, where one of the main reasons that I couldn't live stream last week was because my throat was so swollen. I couldn't do it. Okay, John, let me know if that makes sense. Basically, I'm looking for consistency. I'm looking for polishness in your experience. I talk about this on my LinkedIn and networking playlist. That's a free version if you guys wanted to check it out. I mean, it's very detailed with a lot of example as well. But if you guys are interested, is it this button? It's branding. It's hollylee.co/branding. It is a 50% off, by the way, for my community here. The link is not public. I'm putting it here for you. If you want to, it's my resume and LinkedIn accelerator. When you're done with that, show up here and I'll review both of it in detail for free. That is just saving you guys a lot of time. When you submit a resume or reach out to folks or apply to jobs specifically on LinkedIn, you know they're looking on your LinkedIn profile. If it doesn't make sense, it's all over the place, it's hurting my eyes, they will pass on you within 2 seconds. It doesn't take that long, okay? So, carry on. Let's answer some Q&A. Did you move to Phoenix? Ed Gonzalez, yes, I did. I've been here for exactly a year now. I love it. I love Phoenix. Phoenix is great. It's a great place for parents with young children. And did you all know that the school district here is actually ranked one of the top one in the United States? That's why I'm here. Okay. Although I'm very jealous of those who are living in a place that are very cold, it has a lot of rain right now. Yeah, missing Seattle for a second there. Okay, Clark. Hello, Clark. Clark says, because there's a lot of spammer out there, guys, I have to put my handle on top now. I hate doing that. Time of heart, spammers are going wild. All right, I found that doing practices and preparation makes me inauthentic, and when I went to interviewed, I'm like trying to recall the notes from the memory. I don't feel like myself. Could you advise to overcome? That's excellent. You know what, Clark? Just for you, I think I'm going to make a video about this right here. That's actually really nice. I'll make a video to be more authentic in an interview. Here's my take on it, Clark. And this is just coming from someone that's been doing this for a long time, as working for the corporate and also as a career coach. And for myself, I do take my own practice to walk the talk. I literally have this conversation with clients over the weekends. What I'm trying to tell you guys to do in an interview setting is to keep the authentic part of yourself, as in being honest and truthful, meaning presenting data and information that back up what you're saying. If not, you will struggle with the follow-up probing question. That you keep as your authentic self, the way and your tone, how you present that, be who you are. But if you are an introvert, especially when you're in the tech space, I know this because a lot of my clients are pretty much introvert. They tell me so. You need to learn how to sell yourself. You need to be very uncomfortable to get that job. And the one thing about working in a work environment and who you are at home, life, and work environment should not be the same person. Whomever that wants to challenge me and say, Holly, you're full of shit. I think YouTube's going to ban me for saying that. That you're telling me and the audience of not being who they are in a workplace. Let me explain myself, guys. For instance, when I am at home, I take my sweet time. I make sure that my 5-year-old is well taken care of. I make sure that my clients and my community member, you guys, I'm very obsessed in delivering to you. So I take my time, I tend to do a lot of research. I show up good for you guys, so on and so forth. But if you put me in a corporate environment, in back of my mind, I'm always thinking, okay, you've got 30 seconds, 1 minute, you're going to lose them, they're going to cut you off. Someone is going to basically tell you to get out of their office. So you need to come up with good, legitimate data where people are going to going to have your trust. You're going to earn their trust immediately. So how do you do that? You do that by practice. It's very uncomfortable because that's a different level of communication style that we're not used to. I'm used to it by now, ever since I've been a career coach, but it takes time, guys. It doesn't just because you spend a whole day practicing interview. What I'm asking for you guys to do is you have to practice with certain level of confidence into getting the job. And even when you're with the right employer, I don't know about non-tech company because I feel like majority, 90% of all the company I've ever worked for in my life are in tech. All tech, all high tech, startup to the maintain companies. Okay? In those environments, there are times that I was very uncomfortable because every company I've worked for, it's different. The culture is different. And then you blend in very quickly. Either it's for you or it's not for you. Okay? Let me give you an example, Clark. For instance, I'm going to hide your comment for a second. For instance, if I, at Amazon, the first time I was there, I was very uncomfortable because I came from Google. Google is about employee happiness. It's about let's have tea, coffee, let's go to lunch together. At Amazon, no one has time for you. So it was a huge culture shock for me like that. They're not bad people. They're just really busy. I'm just giving you guys an example so you know what I'm talking about. So I learned how to adapt and ask myself, is Amazon the right culture fit for me? And then from the moment I start solving problems and connecting with stakeholders and knowing that there's a lot of complex issues for me to solve, I was on fire. And then I tell myself, you know what? I can do this. I'm going to take the opportunity to work with really smart people that think about execution that is so different from my last company. So I pretty much mold into that culture and I grew up. I grew up in my career and the way I think and the way I deliver. Okay? Even when I moved from that to like Meta Facebook, for example, I was still culture shock. I'm like, wait, what? You're telling me to calm down when you see where I'm going? So I think that you're always going to be uncomfortable in a new environment, specifically in a job interview before you get into that, the new work culture. I made a workplace playlist. I can't think, guys. My apologies. I need coffee. A workplace, go take a look at it. Not every environment is right for us, so you have to really find one that is molded to you. Okay, like Amazon is great for me. That is where I've done my best work because they allow me to do whatever I want, make mistake that I want, but in the end of the day I have grown so much because of those experiences. Yet it's not a good fit for just anybody. Okay, so the advice I give you, Clark, is find the right environment for you, but to get the job you cannot fake it until you make it. You have to know the content, okay? You have to know what you're talking about or you won't be making it. Make sense? I will read more about the company that you're interested in. I will read the review. I talk about Glassdoor a lot in the last few years. If you missed that, go to my interview tips playlist. All of them are on there. It shows you how to look at feedback from previous candidates, current and former employer with whatever company of your choice. Okay? All right. Mr. Ed. Ed says, does having a LinkedIn premium account really make a difference for job seeker? Personally, I don't think so. I can't remember what LinkedIn is charging, but I know it was pretty expensive. Rather than spending your money in paying for LinkedIn, if I were you guys, I will spend the time and not the money into networking. For example, it's free. Everything I'm talking about here right now is free, okay? If you are, I don't know what role you're in, if you are a tech, non tech, marketing, whatever niche you are in, I would follow those group and start commenting and look at who are involved in those engagement and get to know people that way, because good people refer good people in the same industry. Yeah, does that make sense? Let me know in the live chat if that makes sense, guys. I will not, LinkedIn's gonna hate me. They're never gonna sponsor me by saying this. I think LinkedIn premium is a waste of money. That's just my take. I have never paid for it. When I work for these employer, it comes with it. Sure, it's great when I was in recruiting, but as a job seeker, as a business owner, I don't use it. I don't use it because I would rather spend my time writing good articles, blogs, have a YouTube channel. That's more worth of my time, and it's free, by the way, and you're gaining knowledge and people respect you by your work than to just pay for a service and, reach out or spam people just to network. I wouldn't. Alrighty. John, interested in EU, US, and remote. Excellent. The reason why I asked is that, especially right now, I'm going to say that most of the company around the world are at least hybrid, if not 100% remote. I think the world is going to have a really hard time transitioning workers, professionals, job seekers. It's going to have a challenge moving people to go back to the office 100% of the time, because we haven't since COVID. That's a long time ago, right? That's 2020. We're talking about what, 3.5 years ago. So it's going to take a while. But the good thing is, guys, I do feel the market is warming up a little bit, a little at a time. Don't quote me on this. The reason why I made this comment is that every other day I'm receiving messages from folks like you guys reaching out to me on LinkedIn, asking for my coaching support in prepping for their Amazon job interview. And that is non-tech. If non-tech has headcount, meaning open position, that means the tech side is coming. Okay? I'm going to assume that a lot of the tech positions role have already been filled. You don't hear it, but I know for a fact, guys, AWS is still hiring. I'm getting a lot of account managers, finance manager, risk and compliance managers. I'm getting a lot of, a lot of those role. So don't sit too tight. This is a good time for you guys to put on your thinking cap. If anything, I want you to push yourself hard and get your CV and your LinkedIn in place. Some of you guys are going to think that I'm crazy. I I'm trying so hard. If I don't have anything good to say about other folks, I usually just don't talk about it, but I'm getting it is like a big pet peeve of mine when people are copying each other's content, and you can tell they don't know what they're talking about, right? Where there's so many folks that are advising poor advice. I'm going to make a video about this, where they're advising you guys to make your resume like a job description. I understand, so you can get found, but why do you want to get found? By the time you get found, if I'm the hiring manager and I'm looking at your CV and I can't tell what on earth you have done and what are your meat, your achievement, and you're not even clear and specific what you have done and how you're delivering it, what kind of probing question can I come up with when I'm interviewing you? You're wasting my time. So I see a lot of career coaches, a lot of creators, like everyone in the mom are talking about make your resume like a job description. No. I I I feel like the whole world are eventually going to debate with me, because I am also a believer on my 1 minute interview answer, and I'm still putting my foot down. Go check out my hiring manager bar racial list. Not that they're all agreeing with me, but just pay attention to it. I'll ask them a question. They'll give me like a really long LinkedIn answer, right? At the end of the day, I'm looking at them and I'm smiling. That's like a 5 minute answer. It's good, but look at those who's never worked for Amazon before or never worked at Google or like a lot of these companies. They don't have all those good meat to share that lasts for 5 minute answer. When I say 1 minute, I meant play ping pong with them, right? So tell me about the most complex system you've ever built. Just tell me about what you have built. Stop. Don't tell me every single thing to the T. Tease me a little bit. Give me a chance to ask you probing questions so we can go back and forth and back and forth. A minute each, okay? I don't think an interview setting should be 20-80, meaning the interviewer is asking you questions 20% of the time. You're going to talk 80% of the time. You're going to put them to bed, okay? I don't care how good a person's answer is, I stop listening. And I'm one of those interviewer, I will interrupt you because I don't want you to waste your time. I want you to move forward because within the first 5 minutes, maybe 10, I already know if I'm inclined to hire you because your answer makes me feel and trusted that you can get the job done. Okay? Let me know if that makes sense for you guys. Ed says, I'm a senior IT business analyst. In January, I was getting some calls from recruiters, but now nothing at all. What could be the reason behind that? One, they're waiting for headcount. Two, they probably lost the headcount to the tech people or the priority role. Okay? I'm not going to say, and I can't say that companies are not hiring right now for business analysts. That would be incorrect. There are still positions for IT business analysts because I have had literally 2 weeks ago somebody in my my VIP, my IT. Come on, Holly, coffee. All right. This is what happened. I'm fumbling with words without caffeine. You need to don't be so antsy, guys, because when you guys get antsy, you're going to start applying to job with resume or LinkedIn profile that aren't even ready. Okay? So do that. And everyone is so anxious in landing an interview, but no one think about passing the interview, by the way. I know that because you're my clients. All of you guys are. It's rare for me to work with someone who actually think about, preparing this individual to actually ace and land the right job offer versus I want an interview. Now that I got the interview, oh my God, what am I supposed to do next? Okay? That's preparation, guys. Preparation should take you a few months, not 2 weeks. Especially if you've never worked for companies like Amazon before, it's going to take you a couple months. I have never met anyone, never helped anyone, even executive from one thing into like an AWS that can spend a weekend or, when they say they prep for 2 weeks, what they really meant was an hour here and an hour there, okay? Even so, those are my customers as well. So make sure you spend the time to really look and dice your credential, Ed. What else are you a good fit for? If you're an IT business analyst, so do you have any experience as a business intelligence? Maybe you should look at those. So BI are really hot. By the way, they're still really hot. What about IT project managers? What other IT product management? A lot of the business role are involved with some level of products or services. A lot of services are considered product as well. That's what I mean. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, guys. At the end of the day, we're still in a recession, so you wanted to make sure that you are upping the game because you are competing with a lot of the people, and there is a lot of applicants right now, which is why I disagree with whomever that tell you guys go apply for job. It is suicidal. It is, unless you are a like AR/VR engineer, a display engineer, hardware engineer. You hear I'm going? Solution architect, like a lot of those hot roles with a lot of open position. Go apply to jobs if you want to. But at the end of the day, if you're really that good and your skills are niche, all you guys have to do is reach out to potential hiring managers. They will be on the floor waiting to speak with you. Okay? Do I have data about what industry aren't laying off people? Yes. You should check my last few video. It's called Job Market Update. All of my job market update has an update of what industry are safe. Safe, yes. I'm trying to read your questions. That would be healthcare, oil and gas. I know it sounds kind of weird, right? Oil and gas. The government is not laying off anyone. I know because I've had those clients as well, and they're keeping their jobs. I would say healthcare is primary number one. When I say healthcare, I'm not talking about just hospital. I'm talking about like Blue Cross Blue Shield, Primera, United Healthcare. So a lot of those healthcare organizations, not just healthcare, but like having services or things that has to do with technology or fintech around healthcare. So you may want to look at that as well. But do take a look at my job market update. I do mention and also give you guys a presentation for all of those industry. What are the ones that get chopped continuously and the ones that isn't getting touched and the lowest one. Okay? And your next question is IT job positions do you think will be in high demand in 2024? I made a video about this, was it last week or the week before? It's also on there. It's one of the most recent one for my update. I did talk about that. I think when it comes to tech in demand, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how the world is. If you are in the security space, security cloud, because the remote world is still going to continue. What does that mean? We need people with experience with infrastructural background that can build a great automation system and put the right security framework in place. Data centers, so on and so forth. So a lot of those positions, including software engineering, are really hot. But the bottom line is that is on the tech side. On the non-tech side, I do see some of the. I mean, every tech folks needs non-tech. You cannot operate and function a business without business-minded people, right? I'm talking about like the product management folks, the technical program manager folks, the business analyst folks, operational type of positions. Okay. What I can do, Ed, is that next week is due for my monthly, which is this month. I'll do a market update next month. DJ says, you may be the last few who really look at resume as necessary. Corporate these days demand degrees without care. What industry are you from, and what position are you coming from? The reason why I mentioned looking at resume, at the end of the day, I'm in tech. So everything that I'm showing you guys, even before tech, I was a startup girl. I work at startup. Back in the days, everyone cares so much about at least a bachelor's degree. Now, degree is not really. A lot of you guys ask me, should I go back and get a master? Why are you wasting your time and money? Rather than wasting your time and money going to get a master's degree, just go and polish yourself to deliver enough so you can get the job that you want to. Experience matter over degree right now. If anything, spend your time and get certification like AWS Cloud Practitioners, those side of thing. If you are a non-tech professional trying to gain the domain knowledge and expertise, right? So regarding to resume, I don't know any company who does not pay attention to resume at all. Okay, I dye my hair so you don't see all the gray in my hair, but I've been doing this for over 2 decades. I have not heard of that. What I've heard is, coaches coaching people to put the resume together on all the wrong way because no one really shared the important pieces of it. And everything that I'm training you guys, even in the free version, it's the same thing as a paid customer, by the way. Nothing has changed. Is exactly what hiring managers, exactly what I would see for like in a corporate. Okay? So that is why at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, what does your brand really call for? Because a lot of these employers are looking at so many paper trail of resume right now, and eventually they will all look the same to them. Alrighty. You're welcome, Clark. Zing, hello Zing. Good to see you as well. Nat, hello Nat. A tip besides questions, leadership principle, and story in star format. I've interviewed with the hiring manager in sales roles in AWS. Did I not just mention that AWS is hiring for account manager, which is sales or business development, quite a lot? The foundation of how you put your answer together is all the same. But if you are in a sales or account management position, you know that majority of your answer is around data and customer obsession. It's huge. I would say every single one of your answers should be customer obsession on how you deliver result, right? Some of the questions may be, what was the largest deal that you have ever closed? who is your largest customer, and tell me how you've built that relationship and earned their business. So when you're a sales position, the type of questions are very similar with tech and non-tech, but the only what differentiate is more towards a competency for the related role, which is all around how you're able to generate larger sales, closing sales, nurturing the relationship. Now that you have the sale, how do you expand and generate more revenue within those accounts? Okay? Hope that answers your question, Nat. Oh, this is a good question. Of course, every coaches are very different. I found discrepancies between some coaches and people from AWS regarding how you present the stories. Some are saying AWS is better to say I instead of we. I don't know anyone who says, some are saying it's better to say I instead of we. Yes. So what do you mean by that? You always want to say I. You never want to say we. Okay? Nat, I have the playlist pinned in this live chat. Go look at the live chat. There's a pinned playlist right there. Every single one of those hiring managers from Amazon, including Bar Raiser, up like a couple of directors as well. You want to use I. You never want to use we. We is very confusing because we don't know who you are addressing. And we also don't know what your responsibility is, what you've owned, and how you deliver. Or did you actually put in any effort or initiative? So as an interviewer, you'll be wasting our time in trying to figure out and pull you back into providing more information of what you have done. Okay? It's always I and never we. And I teach that even in writing the Amazon writing exercise as well. Martin, hello Martin. You're usually the first person here. What could be the reason for company reposting the same role over and over again? You crack me up, Martin. Every single time you come in here, I can't stop laughing. Well, the reason why you see the same position coming back every 6 to 12 months is because, where's the drum roll? They're building a pipeline, okay? Like they should. They don't want the recession to be over, or the hiring managers have a thumbs up that they have more open headcount, and they're not going to have the recruiter start from square zero. They're not. No one want to do that. They want to already have a pool of pipeline that's ready to go, potentially a hire, which is you guys, you beautiful people, men and women out there, okay? That is why even if you already have a job, you're not interested in ABC company, they still want to have a list of pipeline that are potential fit. That is why, my friend. Hello, John. I've chatted with Applied Scientists, okay? They asked for my CV, which I'm preparing. Did chat up one more managers and asked I was once interviewed for PM. There any input? A PM and an applied scientist are two different things, okay? If you are going to put your CV together, well, let me ask you this, John. What do you want? Do you want to be a program manager, or do you want to be a applied scientist? Because it's like comparing apples and oranges. Your resume could have a blend of both. You could be an excellent program manager or PM with a background in applied scientist, which is fine, but your resume have to call out with a lot of that stuff. Okay? John, I can't remember, and forgive me because it's been so long since I've reviewed resume. You guys mainly wanted me to review your LinkedIn profile. If you want to, I'm more than happy to take a look at your resume next week. So reach out to me via LinkedIn, John. All right. I've been watching your video. Just finished my loop. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed for you. Fingers crossed. And come back, because I'm waiting for you to tell me your job offer. Okay? You're welcome, Nat. Hopefully I was able to answer all of your questions. It's really good to be back. I know that most, if not all of you guys jumped on a little bit late today. Just to recap the first minute of my spiel, there has been a lot of spammers out there, guys. I'm asking you all to be safe. Safe, guys. If you ever get a text message, an instant message on your social media account, on your email, anywhere, coming and claiming that I am Holly Lee or Holly Lee's group, that is not me. Not me or my team at all. I put my handle on the very top, which is hollylee.co. That is literally my company website and my email alias. Unless it's at hollylee.co, it is not from me. Even so, it's probably not from me because I will not reach out to you guys to buy anything or any services. Okay, if I have any product launch or so forth, I would have mentioned it in the live with a special link for you because I'm here to take care of all of you guys, right? So, spammers spamming inboxes too. I know. I mean, it's so annoying, guys. I have like text messages from CVS Pharmacy every single day now trying to spam me. I need to. It's just not me. If you receive anything like that, report it as a spammer. Until next Tuesday, very grateful that you guys are all here, and I will look forward into answering all your questions next week. Bye, guys.